She said it like she wanted to kill something in me. I haven't been turned on by you in years. You don't turn me on. Her voice trembled between anger and exhaustion, slicing through the quiet of the kitchen. The words echoed like broken glass. For a long moment, I just stood there, staring at the woman I once built my entire world around. I could have shouted back. I could have listed all the ways I'd been there. The nights I held her through her panic attacks, the mornings I went to work on no sleep, the years I spent trying to keep the house, and the life we both said we wanted. But I didn't, because deep down, her words didn't shock me. They only confirmed what I'd been feeling for a long time. She had left me long before she ever said out loud. She paced across the floor, her hands trembling, tears gathering but refusing to fall. She wasn't a cruel person, just tired. Tired of routine, of predictability, of me. Somewhere along the line, I'd stopped fighting for her attention. I'd mistaken peace for love, stillness for comfort, and comfort for connection. Maybe the quiet we once called stability had just turned into silence. When the door slammed behind her that night, I didn't chase her, not because I didn't care, but because I no longer knew how. Love doesn't die all at once. It fades piece by piece. A laugh that doesn't sound the same, a touch that stops lingering, a gaze that looks through you instead of at you. I'd felt it happening slowly, quietly, like dusk gathering on something that once mattered. We used to talk for hours about everything and nothing. Now, every conversation was a checklist: groceries, bills, errands. We built a life that looked right from the outside, but felt hollow from the inside. She started going out more. I stopped asking where. Pretending not to notice was easier than admitting I'd already lost her. I told myself giving her space was love, but really it was fear. Fear of confrontation. Fear of hearing out loud what I already knew. She didn't want the man I'd become. Quiet, practical, dull. She wanted a man who used to make her laugh, who looked at her like she was the only thing that existed, who made her feel alive. Somewhere between the routines and responsibilities, that man disappeared. Her words at night weren't just about desire. They were about absence. She wasn't turned on because I wasn't there anymore, not emotionally, not passionately, not as the man she once admired. Still, a part of me hated her for saying it, because even if she was right, she didn't have to break me open to prove it. I poured another glass of whiskey, trying to drown out her voice, but echoed louder than ever. The next morning, her side of the bed was untouched. The silence was heavier than the argument. I lay there staring at the ceiling, realizing that the life we'd built had been quietly collapsing for years. Her words kept replaying in my mind. You don't turn me on. At first, it felt cruel. But over time, I understood. She wasn't just talking about physical attraction. She was talking about how lifeless I'd become. How the man who once dreamed, laughed, flirted, lived, had turned into someone just existing beside her. I'd mistaken being steady for being loving, reliable for romantic, present for alive. She didn't want a man who simply showed up. She wanted one who felt something when he did. I didn't text her. I didn't beg. I just sat there in the quiet, sipping cold coffee, surrounded by the ghost of who I used to be. Days passed before I finally heard from her again. A simple message. I hope you're okay. I typed and deleted a dozen replies before settling on 3 words. I am now. Because her words, sharp as they were, woke something in me. Not for her, not even for us, but for the version of myself I'd buried under years of comfort and silence. Sometimes it takes being broken to remember what it feels like to be alive.